welcome back to another episode of Path 7. I'm going to start by saying thank you for this opportunity to come back to you guys healed and well health and minding my business. Such a beautiful thing. As in saying that, keep growing, keep healing. I recently just bought a Moldavite. It's a very interesting ride. I have a purple right and a Camerite. It's not bad. It's a decent ride. And just being able to work with these new energies and kind of just put everything back in perspective, it shows me how much more I've healed and how much more manipulation has been used upon me to change my perspective or my viewpoint or reality and try to turn it into something it's not. So as in saying that, it's a very interesting place to be in, because it's like, because I don't really do that much work with my energy, like recorded wise, people have forgotten how strong I am. I have forgotten how strong I am. So I'm so appreciative of these moments of being able to remind myself of how powerful I am and how much I've evolved past people that don't do the work. And as in saying that, it's a beautiful place to be in, where you're able to dictate what's going on in your life, and you're able to grow past a lot of the things that don't really serve you anymore. So as in saying that, it's such a beautiful place to be in with these new energies. And one of the things you have to always remember is it's never going to change your reality. It's just going to give you a new viewpoint, like as an artist, I just see quartz and crystals as another way of seeing how my reality could be enhanced a little bit more, or how it's being enhanced a little bit more. So it's extremely beautiful to see. And the more work that you do, the more you're able to tap into that version of self that helps you grow, you know? And it's just being at such a beautiful place of finally achieving a certain level of height of awareness, and then at the same time remembering that nothing actually is attached to you other than the body. So the only thing that you take with you in life is your body. And that's why most likely I've been allowing myself to release so much, because the more and more I attach to certain things in life, the more that I become entrapped by other people's rules of how they want to viewpoint my life or how they can control my life. So one of the biggest things to learn within this situation is how to observe and release. Observe, as it's saying, you might want to just be able to see something for what it is, and after you've seen it, at that point, release it. You know what I mean? Get the meat and potatoes of it. Get the core root of the lesson. And as you're getting the core root of the lesson, then at that point you want to regurgitate it and give it to the next person. And that's the most beautiful thing about life, is being able to share these perspectives and these viewpoints with people who are trying to ascend past their own karma and understanding of guilt, pain, hurt, and all these different ways of putting a viewpoint on life and its different stages that we all go through. And as you are ascending past lower vibrations of hate, because everything is a different mask of hate, which I read from Don Ruiz, The Mastery of Love. And when you sit down and really think that hate has so many different masks, and love only has one, or generosity or things like it, but love literally only has one viewpoint, and that's just the love. But hate has so many different variations that turns it back into places that you don't need to really, you don't need in your life. And it's such a beautiful place of understanding, of knowing that a lot of things in life, they're just like, just like the wind, just like the air, they just come and go. You can't sell air. Well, you can as CO2, but you can't encapsulate it. It's free. Water, you can bottle it, you can do whatever you want with it, but you can't stop water from being water, as in saying that. You can change its phase in life, but you can't change it for what it is. So as in saying that, it's one of those things where the more you're able to release, the more things and jobs and things in life will come to you. So it's just a whole bunch of like, it's a multitude of being able to handle more, and as you're handling more, being able to sustain the level that you've already reached. As in saying, I'm a big manga buff or anime buff, so Dragon Ball Z, you can't get to Ultra Instinct until you master Super Saiyan God, you know? So as in saying that, you can't reach your Bankai until you've actually reached a certain understanding of yourself and your blade, which will be your mind. So as you're transgressing these different things that are limitations that you self-induce upon yourself through subconscious programming or past life programming, which is still subconscious programming in this lifetime. It's a beautiful thing to be able to look back on your growth and actually know that you're going so much further than what society kind of like limited or prohibited you to esteem it to be at. So the more and more you're able to find places of peace and to stay in those places of peace, then you'll be able to sustain the peace that sustain the level of growth that you've just attained towards or attuned yourself to. So as in saying that, the main thing you have to do is just really be disciplined in what you're trying to do and allow yourself to understand that everything in life is in perfect balance. All you have to do is just take the people that don't belong in your life out of your life. And as you're doing that, things will be so much more crystalline. Things will be so much more enhanced in ways that it's going to be easier for you to ascend past the things that are not helping you get to where you're going to. And the places you're going to is just higher stages of self. So, like I said, once you get to Super Saiyan 1, you want to get to Super Saiyan God. Once you get to Kaioken, you want to reach, I guess, Ultra Instinct. What other books? Tokyo Ghoul wouldn't really apply to this because it's not really a scaling process. But that's in totality what I kind of want to go towards. So, what else? The times that I'm in right now. I just did another shoot not too long ago. I'm working on one more jacket. Right now, I want to start my manga situation, but it's going to be hard to start my manga situation and like find people, because you can't. I don't want to do a manga panel by myself. There's no fun in that. What I want to do is allow myself to find perspective in where I'm going in life, and also put things in perspective. So if I'm going to do a manga, the first thing I have to attain towards is subject matter. At the subject matter, from there will be things of how I would like to approach my heroes, how I would like my heroes to I guess appear in certain situations. So you need a hero, you need a path for that hero to follow. Then from there you need that's really it. So where I am in my own story is just a story of growth, a story of healing, but at the same time building new I guess I'm trying to take my intangibles and manufacture something tangibly, but that would still need my staple goods, which would be my artwork. But within that, I need to finely tune my skills that I have so I can actually market or what's the word? What's the actual thought of what I'm trying to say? Because my artwork is already completed. But now I need to, I guess, find a way to advertise more effectively towards my target audience. 1 second. But as in saying that, just venturing forward and not allowing the story to be told by people outside of myself, and just striving for the same excellence that I give the world. So as in saying that, attaining growth in every day, attaining the things that help me strive for better perfection of self. So not really looking for not looking for, not looking for problems, but not looking for things that stagnate me. Not allowing myself to plateau upon things that have no things that aren't going to, because plateaus could be so many different things. Plateaus could be me buying manga, plateaus could be me watching anime, plateaus could be me going to the gym, which I'm thinking is a plateau at this point. It's interesting, man, because you think about it, everything is a plateau at some point, because everything at some point will catch you to like, it'll get you to a place of stagnation. Not even because you want to, because it would be something that will help you escape. And that's one of the things I'm trying not to do, is escape. But life is like 3D reality is kind of based upon escapism. So it's interesting, man, because when you're actually sustaining and reaching for these different goals, it's like, how do you evolve past your own stagnation? And then after you evolve past that, how do your hobbies not allow you to escape in ways that aren't healthy? And that's a very, because at that point that hobby becomes an attachment, and that attachment after a while will lead to your suffering. So that's where I'm at with the gym, and it's just like, I never thought about that. Like, me going to the gym that much was escapism, but inside of escapism, it's like, it's not that I don't want to go to the gym. It's just I'm looking for a new viewpoint on how to, like an artist, or like somebody's looking for, what's the word I'm looking for? Looking for new motivation, I guess, per se. Looking for things that are going to always, like, you know, keep me from the day-to-day escape of reality. And that's more of what I'm trying to say. Because if I keep escaping reality by painting, by doing this here as escaping, buying manga to an extent, but what keeps you attached to the vessel other than suffering? And that's a great place to look at it, because suffering is what keeps you grounded. And I picked that up from Tokyo Ghoul, which would be Kaneki, just saying like how when he was going through his roughest patch with Yamari, or Jason, I want to say, what kept him grounded was the fact that he was suffering and going through a certain level of warfare. You know, just as in what it was, he was suffering because Jason was torturing him. He told him to count to 1,000 backwards by increments of 7. And that's so interesting, as in saying, how can you escape suffering if suffering is what keeps you in the human vessel? And that's such an intricate thing to think about, because happiness is fleeting, because of 3D reality is always, it's always give you a new viewpoint of not struggle, but struggle is the way of 3D reality. And that's when you go to the 4th dimension. The 4th dimension is more about time and emotion. So once you escape time and emotion, and you're able to stay in the body at the same time, you're able to consciously hallucinate your 5th dimension. And once you get to the 5th dimension, it's just pure happiness. But inside of a reality that is based upon so much suffering, how do you attain that 50 level of peace while there's so many things tying you back to the 3D that leads you to struggle and strife and all the things that are attached to suffering? So life is interesting, man, because as soon as you escape one part of the trance or the thing of reality, you have to find something else. You have to find something else that allows you to not plateau, because plateauing is so dangerous, because it's good because you're plateauing, you're getting better. It's bad because you're not attaining the level that you want to when you are trying to get there. So it's an interesting thing, because it's like, damn, I made it here, but after I make it here, there's more steps in that ladder that I have to, like, overcome. So it's how do you not allow your suffering to become your identity? Because after your suffering becomes your identity, what are you going to do there? And that's very interesting. Because after your suffering, you're going to, like, plateau and find more things to kind of root you in reality. But as things are rooting you in reality, what are you going to do after that? And that's it. It's just like, it's the constant thing of 3D reality. Is that seeking escapism through hobbies, or is that seeking it through friendship, or what is it that allows you what allows you to escape 3D reality outside of those hobbies? What allows you to escape 3D reality outside of, I guess, stagnation? I don't know. It's funny because I have Venus in my first house, and I have Venus in my first house of Pisces, so Neptune. So it's like, damn. I mean, like, what keeps me from addiction? What keeps me from overindulging, other than, like, just growth and just having this tenacity to go for things that I really want in life? And it's interesting because most people can't attain that, and most people can't sustain that. But it's like, once you sustain it, you reach a place of, like, trying to attune to things that should tune you out. Like, as I'm saying that, like, you're going to attune yourself. You're going to want to be a coach or somebody who helps you after a while. You're going to help people, like, you know what I mean, reach a standpoint of growth. But at the same time, that growth is dangerous because it's addicting. You know what I mean? Like, it's just interesting, man. Growth is such an interesting thing, because it's like, not everybody who goes on that journey with you is going to want to grow. Then at the same time, as you grow, those friends are going to plateau. So are you going to be disciplined enough to cut those friends off and move forward on your own? Are you going to be disciplined enough to move forward upon yourself and not allow anybody to stagnate you? Are you going to allow your teachings to be something you sit upon and you don't blossom past and blossom forward? It's interesting, man. It's one of those things where it's just like, damn, like, life is all about just beating struggle, overcoming hobbies, and not stagnating. So, but it's like, so many people have stagnated in certain aspects of life that they plateau without even seeing they plateaued. And like I always talk about the show Lovecraft County. Hippolyta said something based upon, she said, they lynched me without even knowing that I was being lynched. And it's just like, that's how stagnation happens, when you're trying to ascend past certain things that aren't really, not for your best good. You're trying to ascend past things that they're not tangible, like, our problems now aren't tangible. There are emotions, our attachment to things that don't really bring us that level of sustainability that we're trying to attain. So it's like, it's interesting because, like, as somebody who has a 12th house perspective and seeing life in the 12th house on my sun and on my Mercury, it's just like, it gives you so much, like, inner depth upon, like, people's psyche, their subconscious, their fears and everything. And it's just like, it brought me such a state of enlightenment, and being able to just want to help other people with that enlightenment. It's just interesting because it's just like, no matter how much I grow, until society's software can match mine, I'm always going to be held back. I'm always going to feel like I'm in a prison state or something that is entangling me in a place that I'm plateauing. Like, right now in my life, I have all the tangibles, I have my intangibles, but what am I waiting for? A sponsor, somebody to really put me in a place where it's just like, to stamp me, or to someone to say, hey, you're good, I like you. But what is it that you can offer me? And it's like, I have everything. There's not one room I can go into and I won't add value to, from my tangibles, my intangibles. I mean, just being able to just remain here in the moment, each moment, and not allowing life to take me off of what's really happening and focusing on what's not really happening, what's always like inside our head. So it's interesting, man. But I'm gonna wrap that up here, just because the 3D reality is starting to entrance me in a certain way that I'm not really comfortable with. So thank you. I'm gonna do more of these because I need to do more. And thank you for checking in. It's your boy Ralph, man. Check me out. Website, find-the-others.com. Check me out. Thank you. I see you over there, man. They watching.